Hi, I'm Clint Osterholtz with QueerSense, and I'm your gay best friend who's good with money. Today we're going to talk about private loan consolidation and student loan consolidation. Now, if you weren't here for my first video, and if you haven't seen that yet, try to click this link right away so that you can go and catch that and get up to speed with everything. You know the difference between federal loans and private loans. Well, now you're probably going to want to consolidate them if you haven't already. If you already have, then you're going to have to wait for the third video for me to actually give you some important information, but it's worth sticking around for anyway. You already know the difference between a private loan and a federal loan. What you're going to want to do now is combine all of your federal loans. Now, your lender, which may not actually be the government, may tell you that you're not eligible for consolidation, but that's not true. Any federal loans can be consolidated, they just may not be consolidated with that lender. Instead, you would have to go consolidate directly with the federal government, but the federal government will consolidate any federal loans. The only exception to this is you may have a Perkins loan or a health professions loan. These loans are at a fixed 5% rate, and it's generally advisable not to consolidate them. I didn't mention them last time because so few people have them since the loan program is kind of petered out, but if you do have those loans, don't touch them. They're also eligible for some sort of forgiveness in most cases, and it's generally advisable just to leave them to the side and pay them off last. Now, if you have a federal loan, you probably have different interest rates on them because the interest rates have fluctuated wildly in the past 5 to 10 years. For example, some of my student loans were at 6.8% and others were at about around 4. So what I did was I combined them, and now my interest rate is 5%. That roughly works out to an average between the 4% rate and the 6.8% rate. Step number 2 would be to consolidate your private loans. A lot of people want to consolidate all their loans into one big chunk, both federal and private, just because they don't want to forget about paying. It's usually a very bad idea because your federal loans are at a fixed rate, whereas your private loans are at a variable rate, and if you put them all in one big chunk, you're going to get the worst deal possible, and it's really not even worth it. The interest rate on your private loans will be roughly the average of all of them combined. The only thing that's different about this is that if you're combining your private loans, you can usually only do that with the private lender. And in that case, there's usually a minimum, or they won't let you make graduated payments. It just really depends. Most of the time they offer similar options to federal consolidation, it's just with them instead. That's it for now. Next time we're going to be talking about paying them back, and trust me, you're going to want to be around for that no matter what your status is in terms of paying back student loans. Whether you're considering or whether you're paying them back and you've got one payment left, you're still going to want to know this. So I'll see you next time.